Delegates and Events. Imagine that you assembled the printer, and as usual, you wrote the tutorial for its usage. It turned out that you won't need the printer for a while, and it's possible that you'll give it to friends. And so far you have approved the printer together with the instruction somewhere reliable until it arrives. Time and then the instruction on what types of until it will be needed. Where you wrote how to use the printer. Approximately this instruction is the delegate in real life. You may have already heard such a term pointer to the function, but in C# it is a little bit different from others. Delegate is a mechanism for packing methods. Objects in the future can use it. Pass as an argument to the method, and there you can do different things with this method when we have a desire. When the time comes to use the printer, you only need to get it. Let's find out the delegate instruction, which stores a description of the printer's operation, which is necessary in order to stop worrying and use delegates. We declare the type of the delegate. We do it with the help of the keyword delegate. Type delegate is a method signal. We need to specify the type that should be returned. Instances of the delegate in the proper self-named delegates and parameters that should. We need a method to accept instances of delegates, the signature of which must match the signature of this step. Is mandatory because C# is strictly typed with driver isolated. We create an instance of the delegate. We create an object that stores a reference to the method from the corresponding signature, calls the method through the delegate, and everything happens like this. As if we were calling methods as if they were the source, only here we have additional possibilities. We can safely specify it as a parameter for other methods. The type of the delegate as the type of the method argument. Almost everything related to delegates is called delegates, but you separate the names into type delegate and instance of the delegate. It is simple and straightforward. How to compose an objects. The method can have parameters of the delegate type and can call the delegate parameter. Printhelper method has parameters. Delegate of type prints something and calls it as a function. Example demonstrates. Let's see how to use printhelper method, which contains a parameter of the delegate type. What else interesting can be done with delegates? To the example, they can be added. That's how it is after each union operation. We get a new instance of delegate which contains instances of delegates and the sequence of their calling. The delegate can point to several methods the delegate points to. On several methods is called a delegate many address transfer or a multicast delegate. Operator plus adds the function to the delegate instance. In the example, the delegate print something becomes a multicast delegate because it points to. We'll call all methods sequentially so we can get a list delegate calls. So, for what we need delegates. For example, there's a button and after clicking on the button, some action is performed. Delegates allow us to trade this responsibility of processing some actions for another level. If there were no delegates, we would have to click on each button class and in this class hard code the set of actions especially for this button. In case of delegates, there is one class of button, the heap of realizations. Suppose you've understood now that we will talk about events. Events in general, this is something special that should happen. For example, Microsoft triggers events for developers to familiarize themselves with new or existing Microsoft features. Notifies developers of events via email or other options. Advertising too. In this case, Microsoft and the publisher that launches the event. And notifies developers who are event subscribers and are processing the event. It's nothing but the encapsulation delegate. You can declare a delegate to be announced now. Event, use the keyword event before declaration of a variable of type delegates. Thus, the delegate becomes an event using the key with the help of event keyword. Print helper class of the publisher that publishes before print event. Note that in each printing method we first check that the before print event is not null and then calls before print event. If no one class was not signed for an event, and therefore it's necessary to check the presence of null before calling the delegate. Consider the following classes: printhelp, which prints integers in various formats, such as a number, money, decimal, etc. That it includes preprint event to inform the subscribers about preprint event. Before it will start printing, all subscribers must provide handler function that will be called when the publisher raises the event. Class number creates a helper instance and subscribes to before print event with the operator plus and gives the name of the function that will process the event. It will be called when the publisher triggers the event. Print helper before a print event is an event handler that has the same signature as the delegate before print in the class print helper. And now let's instantiate the number class and call methods of printing. Events were added to C# for the encapsulation of the operations of union and deletion of the delegates, and in general, publisher subscriber. The sense of the pattern is simple. Publisher provides subscription mechanism for methods. This is the same keyword event. Subscribers provide methods which match the signature that is set by the publisher. Under the execution of some conditions, the publisher publishes all its own subscribers. That something happened there, by the way. Calling instances of delegates provided by event subscribers. Events can also pass data as an argument to their assigned event handler. The event passes argument to the handler as delegate signature. In our example, printhelper declares delegate before print, which or any other printing method. In the example, class number has a function printhelper before a print event with a string parameter. Now the subscriber class must have an event handler that has a string parameter. As you understood from the title, it will be about methods that do not have a name, are anonymous, and C# can be defined using the delegate keyword, and variables of type delegate can be assigned. Anonymous methods can access variables defined in external Functions of anonymous methods can also be passed to the receiving method. Delegate as a parameter in the example helper method takes the first parameters. Delegate print. Thank you for your attention.